Factory car. 6-speed with the wiggly shifter. It's getting closer. This gear indicator switch, located on the side of the transmission. Not to be confused with the shifter, which is inside the vehicle. Now sometimes in some of my diagrams I actually call it the shifter switch. This is the shifter switch. It's actually the gear indicator neutral start switch, or neutral safety switch. Combination switch, actually. They call it a combination switch, because it contains both the NSS, neutral start switch, and the gear indicator, or gear position indicators switches. Now the one with the 6-speed has a slightly different one. This is an earlier one. And don't worry, the customer's requested to, he's going to finish off this, he's sorting that, he just wanted us to get this in here and get it bolted in. Here is the shifter, and you can see here, one position, reverse, neutral, drive. So we've actually only got 4 positions. So the earlier gearboxes, both the 4 and 5 speeds, have got 6. They've got park, reverse, neutral, same, drive, good, 2, and a low. Whether it's a 4 or a 5, they've got 6. This one's got 4. But if we look here, come on baby, it allows us to come back to drive, and then we can click it over and we can move the shifter. And that's because the unit on side of the transmission is slightly different in the setup into drive. So park we understand, reverse that makes us go backwards, we got that. Neutral, again, we won't go anywhere. P has got the lock-up pin, so it actually physically, the vehicle will not be able to be rolled either, because it locks the transmission up. You can't move it. Whereas neutral, you can push it. And then we go into drive. And we don't have the ability to pull back in gears the same we have. Instead, we have this Tiptronic. Okay. Now, how does all this work? Now, I should actually go a little bit more. This switch, this unit here, let's probably refer that to the shift lock ECU. So on the back of there is a plug. Can I have a picture of, have I got a plug picture of somewhere else of me poking up when I had this out? Well, there we go. And then on the front here, on this particular one, tucked down the front here, there's a transmission control switch, which I'm pretty sure I showed that on the diagrams. Hopefully I remember to put that in the diagrams. If I don't, I can put in the transmission control switch right now. And then it feeds back to the ECU. So what signals do we need to see? We need to get into the glove box. Beauty. We need to get the plug out of the ECU. There is the suitable plug from the ECU. I've got my favourite test light. We've seen this before if you've been watching my videos, and if you haven't, this is a fantastic tool. Right, we need to start. We actually need to tell 7, 8, 9. We need to tell the ECU that we're going to put it into that shifty mode. Alright, now I should actually say, there is a Tiptronic in the 4 and the 5-speed transmissions as well, and it's the GS series of cars. And then it was introduced in the LS and the Crowns in the 6-speed models. So that gives us the Tiptronic. So what we see is that shifter sideways, you can see that there's a switch in here which sends 12 volts to the ECU to tell us that we are going to be changing the gears via the Tiptronic. Okay, and it stays on when we shift it, the Tiptronic. Now, we also need an input for this fella going uppy and a downy. So let's get an input for that. Again, I'm going to probe into that ECU. My test lead's in, and you can see down there that's lit up red. And if I hold these very carefully, we've got two LEDs, and we've used these quite a few times. I'm pushing them down. Let's go up. And now I've set these LEDs up. I've got a power feed down there on that positive, so these are an earth signal. So the switch, sideways switch over here, is a 12 volt, and then these fellas are a earth. Right, so I hope that's been helpful explaining a little bit how those shifters work, and you can see it's got the right shifter in it. And if we're lucky, I might even do a similar video showing the Altezza buttons, or it's actually a Altezza Gita wagon buttons, uppy and downy buttons. So, talk to you again soon. We'll catch you later.